Welcome back to Autonauts. We finished off last episode clearing this area, making room for some toy production. I fenced off it and brought in a button maker, which is a wood shaping table, wood shaping bench, and a doll making station. So I have two bots gathering supplies for the dolls, and one bot doing the buttons. He just grabs pegs and turns them into buttons. So we have level 4 toys now. We have level 4 clothing. And we have level 4 food being made. So we're ready to produce level 4 homes. So level 4 housing is, I believe, a stone cottage. Stone cottage is made in 6 stages. 8 planks to start with, a chimney and a fireplace, stones, logs and stones, straw, and door frames and window frames. Window frames and door frames are made at the structural workbench, so we'll have to add a couple of those. And then the fireplace and chimney are made at the masonry bench. They also require mortar. Mortar is made at the mortar mixing station, requiring clay and sand and water. So let's put some of those stuff down and get it. The masonry stuff will be right here. We've already cordoned off area for it. We've already brought in some rough stone so we can, I think, turn that into fireplaces. We'll check it out in a minute. And structural workbenches we've also started here, so we need to fence off this area, extend the road down, and put some structural workbenches in. So let's start by adding the stuff we need down here. Mortar mixing stations, let's do 2 of them. Alright, I have some mortar being made down here. I have one bot doing clay, one bot doing sand, one bot doing fresh water, and they deliver clay to this one, then clay to this one, then they refill. Then they deliver clay to this one, back to this one, and then refill. And then I have one guy collecting mortar from both of them. He needs a bucket to scoop it up and put it back in the silo. Then from there they take it up to here. There's a bot doing stone, a bot doing mortar, and a bot collecting. So this is chimneys, this is fireplaces. They just store it up here in the box. And we come down here to the structural workbenches. I rearrange this area a little bit. And we have window frames being made here. Same thing, I have 2 different bots gathering the materials on the screen. Same thing over here, 2 different bots gathering square frames, panels, logs, and fixing pegs. And then just storing them over here. So we have, I think, everything we need to build the houses. So let's try to build a couple and see what happens. It's going to take them a while to build them because there's lots of different stages. So they're going to work on building the rest of these. Let's move one of them into place to get the next level citizen. He's the lucky guy here. We're going to move him into the new stone cottage. Now level 4, Pizzelle. And should be level 4 Leisure, which is a toy. Give us 1,000. WOV. Let's upgrade our research station as well. If I can find a spot for it. I've yet to do there's one research left of the coconut one, but I haven't done we'll just do that one next. I think it carries over to the next level, so let's research that and see what we need. Rough stone, block, stone, and stick, we have all that, so that should be no problem to upgrade. And once these are done, we'll move them into place. Reset up our town. We'll have to redo all our guys to, I don't know what these take, probably stones to maintain. And we'll have to switch our feeder over to the next food, as well as clothing, to the next level clothing as well. Alright, here's our upgraded town. We're up to a population of 15 residents. We should be making enough goods to maintain their happiness, so sharing a little extra WOV there. While we're waiting for some research to do so we can start unlocking level 5 items. let's do some prep work and let's get these cows fed and then get a guy doing a bucket on them to collect the milk and put it in the barrel. Okay, cows are fed for the most part. We are short on hay, but I'm not going to add more bots to that because I think we're going to unlock metal tools pretty soon, which should speed up the production of this, so for now we're just going to let it go. So they're happy, they're making milk. Guys putting it in a bucket and then putting it in the barrel here. They also leave dung after you feed them, so I'm not sure what that'll be used for, but we're collecting it and throwing it in a crate for now. I've also added down here somewhere over here, shaped stone blocks. All I do is take it to a masonry bench, take a rough stone block, masonry bench, and it turns it into shaped stone blocks. So we'll need that in the future too. And we're going to start building some power proactively because I know the metal tools are going to require it. So let's build some windmills. Build a whole bunch of them, probably take forever. And then these are power poles right here that I have built that are, we'll see how those work in a minute. But the thing I want to do is take out an area up here, clean up this area up here, put a whole bunch of windmills, and just run power down here, and then we'll just run a line of power down the thing so that anywhere that needs power, we'll have access to it. Make it all in one power grid. There is the beginning of power. We have 4 windmills going. Each generates 50 power. I believe it's 50 power every 15 seconds. So we'll just add them as needed for now. I have a power line going down here. We have to connect to these other 2 here. Let's see, there's 5 spaces between them. So that connects them up, and then I ran the power poles down this line here. And then every 5 spaces we'll get a power pole, and that way if we build something here that needs power, we can just grab it off of here. I'll just extend this line the whole way down, so I'll keep building them, working towards it. The next thing up is metal tools and a metal workstation. Let's see, I believe that's this. It requires logs, crude metal, stone blocks, and bulrush cloth. So crude metal is made in the furnace here. We just smelt metal ore and it turns it into crude metal. And then bulrush cloth is, bulrushes grow down here in the swamp. These things here. So we will set up an operation. We'll probably just extend this road down and set up a bulrush harvesting operation down here in the swamp. Okay, so we got the farm up and running. We have scythes being brought down from up top so that they don't have to run up there every time they break a tool. So either if these are empty, he goes out and harvests some of the bulrush. That gives us seeds and stems. Stems here, seeds here. The stems are then transferred up to the clothing area. Stems are brought in up here. They are put in the thresher to make bulrush fiber. Fiber is then transferred to the spinning wheel, which makes thread. Thread is then transferred to the rocking chair, which makes bulrush cloth. So that was one of the ingredients we needed for the metal workstation. The other one was crude metal. Crude metal required a furnace. 2 logs in a furnace make a piece of charcoal. The charcoal is then stored and brought down to the metal stations. Started an area down here. So the metal ore is being brought in here. It's put in the furnace with some charcoal, and it comes out as crude metal. That gave us enough to build the metal workstation. Now this needs flooring, walls, and power. So I'm going to have to run power down to the metal station here. We got it right here. We'll just run power poles all the way down here and into the station here, and we'll put the metal workstations in here and get those up and running. Here's the beginning of the metal setup. We have a couple workstations. This one's making metal poles. The next one down is making plates. And this one here is making buckets. The rest of them we're going to set up to make tools, probably starting with the scythe so that I can get my grass and hay production faster because I'm running short on fleece, which means I'm going to need to feed the sheep faster. So over time I'll work on adding these tools in as we need them, but we have most tools up and running. So we'll just see if we need more as we go along. We have a toy problem. There's no toys left, so there's all the buildings are not producing. You can see the hearts pumping out of them. These 5 aren't producing any love whatsoever, as well as 1 or 2 over here is not. So we're gonna have to fix that. We have a wool blanket problem because we're out of fleece, and we're out of fleece because we're out of hay. So I've switched the hay guys to metal tools, but I think we're gonna add another one to see if that solves the problem. So we can just go to our bot database and let's go to grass. We'll add him to the mix, see if that helps fix our hay problem, which should produce more fleeces. And next up, I think we're going to do clay bricks. The clay area is right here. So let's see what's involved in clay bricks. So bricks are made when clay station with clay, straw, and water. So let's get that set up. They'll probably need baked as well in kiln. So let's get that set up. Okay, here's our updated clay area. Zoom in a little bit for you. These 3 stations here are clay stations. They have been upgraded. They now require power. However, they have the same amount of input, but they output twice as much. So instead of 2 clay equaling 1 clay pot, it equals 2 clay pots. So super handy. So this one's making clay pots, this one's making large clay dishes, and this one's making bricks. The raw products are being stored here and here, as well as the bricks are being stored over here raw. And that guy comes over, cooks them, puts them on either the pallet or the box, depending on what it is. And have a separate bot for each one. So one bot does the bricks, one bot does the dishes, one bot does the pots. So then this pallet here feeds all these furnaces, so it seems to be keeping up, so we're doing a good job there. And then up here I ended up finding another clay resource deposit up here by the windmills. So I have that being mined, as well as a wheelbarrow transporting clay from here down to the clay 1, which is down here. So we'll see if that keeps up. The animals, we're still short on fleece. We seem to have not quite fixed our hay problem. We have plenty of grass laying around, but not enough people collecting it, turning into hay, so let's add a couple bots there. So it looks like hay is piling up again, so we should be on the up and up there. Fleece is still low, but really there's not much we can do about that until I added another sheet, but we'll see if it stockpiles up or not. I'm kind of waiting for research to be done at this point. There are some more clay products I can make, so I'm going to, even though I just expanded this area, I'm going to come over here, have this bot here who needs a bucket. I'm going to have him fill in these 2 layers of water, and then we'll extend the clay area into this side as well. And that'll give us room to make more products. I've been saving all the grass I've been digging up. I don't know for what, but just keep stockpiling it, so eventually we'll need it, but I'll have to move this stuff out of the way too. So here's the yet again expanded clay area. Let's set these to do clay jars. We'll do these to do roof tiles. We'll need these for the brick houses. And let's see, this one will be raw tiles. This one can be raw clay jars. We have an extra one here for future use. They can just pull the clay from up here. I added another fuel pallet here, so that this guy can stock these kilns here. We can add more if we need them in the future. This will be for storing. We're going to need another one of these for storing raw jars, as raw tiles, cooked tiles. Same thing with the jars. We'll need. I have to build more of these. They're working on building more boxes up here now. But so we'll need one for raw jars and one for cooked jars. So let's get some bots assigned to make all this stuff. Got some bots set up to get us started, get us some jars and tiles coming along. Unlocked a couple things and realized we're not making flour. But first I finished some research. You can see we're overfeeding our cows a little bit. Yikes. Let's see, we unlocked a sheep shearing shed. So let's see what that's all about. Probably just have to assign a guy to it, and I assume when they're ready to be sheared they'll come over and sit in here and wait for us. So I don't know if it produces more or not, we'll have to keep an eye on it. So he's already over here. Yeah, so I'll assign a bot to that and we'll get them sharing those guys. Then also I'm going to expand our kitchen finally, because I realized we're not making flour, so we haven't built a lot of stuff that we could have been building. We've got some rotary kerns here. We've got some kitchen tables. That's crude oven. And butter churn, we'll put that down too, I guess. So it looks like this makes flour. Just need cereal seed. Put down some flooring so we can see what this does. So crude dough, so we want to make crude dough, which means we're going to have to make watery porridge. And this needs flooring as well. That makes crude bread. I think glazed roasted carrots, we're probably not going to mess with that, but we'll do crude bread for sure. So this needs flour and dough. This is making the flour. This is making the dough. So this will make crude bread. And butter is just butter. So let's get this organized and set up, get some bots programmed to get this going, and get our sheep fixed up. Okay, this is going to be the initial setup. We're going to have cereal seed being transferred in here from the cereal farm. This will be for planks for feeding the ovens and the cauldrons. These will be storage for all the things we're making: flour, dough, porridge, and bread. This will be for water. And these two will be making dough from watery porridge and crude flour. These will be making bread from crude flour and crude dough. And these will be making the watery porridge from cereal seed, fresh water, and clay pots. Clay pots we're just going to grab from here because it's not too far away. That way I only have one storage that I have to control how many clay pots are being made. So let's get some bots hooked up and see if it all works as planned. Most of those are set up now. I have all the way up to crude dough made. I'm not making bread right now. I don't need bread for anything, so I'm not making it. I needed crude dough for the research, so I went up and made as far as crude dough. To give you an example, this is the watery porridge. I basically have the bots handling one ingredient at a time, so he just checks to see if this watery porridge is full. If it's not, he moves to the cereal seed over here, takes some, and then he moves down to this one, adds 2 to this one. It says until hands empty. It requires 2 porridge or 2 cereal seeds to make the porridge. So he'll do until his hands are empty, but he'll add till he can't add anymore, and then he'll realize he's allowed to skip it. So he'll go to the next one and add him until his hands are empty, or until he's added 2, basically, because it'll skip that one as well, since it's allowed to fail out. So I've set up most of them like that, try to keep it simple, handling one ingredient, moving to multiple pots that way. If I want to make more porridge, I can just add more, 2 or 3 of these bots, and they'll just basically go in progression. I'll have one making here, then he'll move to here, and the first guy will start making here. So that way I can have one program and handle multiple stations. While we were doing that, we unlocked this feeding trough for the sheep. And we were going to something about these cows. You can see I have quite a bit of hay, so we'll have to stop to feed her, bringing food up there. But let's add these troughs. I'll have to wait till they move to get them in there, but we'll basically change the feeders to bring the hay to the... I didn't move them. basically I'll change the feeder guys to move the hay to here instead of on the ground. I believe it lasts twice as long in the trough than it does on the ground. And then I'm going to set up butter right up in here because it requires 4 milk. So instead of transporting milk a long distance, we're going to churn the butter right inside the farm here. So it's less transport to do. And as well, we're going to have to do something about the cereal seed, wherever that's at, over here. Because as you can see, they're not planting it fast enough and we're going through a lot of cereal seed making that flour. So we'll have to fix that up as well. Basically, all I have to do is switch these over to metal tools, maybe throw an extra bot or 2 over it, and it should be fixed. So let's start with the making hay delivery to the troughs instead of on the ground. So a quick side note, when we switch to metal tools, the resource patches looks like they changed from trace metal ore to metal ore deposits. So I'm assuming it's faster to mine it. So I'm not sure what else it does for it, but you can see it changing the color of the deposit, so it is changing it over. We're back with the cows. I'm trying to get rid of all this hay. I've got butter being made. So I threw down a milking shed. It's basically the same thing as a shearing shed down there. The cows come here when they're ready to be milked. The guy comes over with a bucket, grabs the milk, and puts it in the barrel. So then the guy takes the barrel, puts it in the butter machine here, and then 4 milk make 1 butter. I'll have to figure out why this is empty and we're not producing milk fast enough apparently. So we'll have to produce some more cows. So we'll throw some hay in here. Actually, we can do that now. So that's 3 hay. We just gotta find the cows in the madness here. Trying to find the cow here is a little difficult with all this stuff here. There's 3 cows, let's make 1 more. Let's make 1 more while we got the hay here. Alright, so that's a bunch of cows, we'll see how that goes. The cow area is cleaned up a little bit now. We'll need butter pretty soon here when we start level 5 food. But we've just started unlocking some stuff now, so let's take a look at upgrading all our stuff to level 5. Start with the clothes. We're making the jumpers right now. Next up will be the jacket. Jacket just requires an extra wool blanket, some buttons, and some thread, all of which we're making already. We need to make some sewing stations, which I've pre-built already. And I'm guessing this is basically the same. Yeah, so this is an extra cotton cloth, an extra cotton thread. And this is thread as well. So we can start making those right now. We'll probably find our clothing area here, right here. We have some room up in here, but I think I might just expand it down here so that we have room to grow. So let's get this area cleaned up and put the sewing stations in. That area is cleaned up, but I decided to put it up here anyway. I was not making thread, so I was making cotton thread but not regular thread, so I added regular thread. It's just made from string. So I have 1 guy making that. And I have 2 bots making the dresses. One gets the dress in the cotton cloth, the other one gets the button and the thread. And then they store it in here. You can see it's really heavy. So we're going to have to, when we transport it up to the town, we're going to have to probably do it by wheelbarrow or something to make them be able to carry it, because otherwise it'll take them forever to get there. And we won't be able to supply them fast enough. So, got 2 guys making jackets over here, 2 guys making shirts here, and stocking them here. So that's level 5 clothing. That's going to do it for this episode. Next episode we'll work on upgrading the rest of our items to level 5 and seeing if we can upgrade our houses to level 5 as well.